Hi, I'm Brad. Welcome to Hi5 Bread Town. You are about to experience an exciting and amazing journey through 5,000 years of bread history. You'll be fascinated by the inventiveness and skills of bread-making pioneers who have contributed so richly to the legacy of bread. It began with the Egyptians in the time around 3000 BC. They were the first people to use yeast to make bread rise. They also invented the first ovens for baking. In those days, the type of bread you ate depended on how rich you were. The rich ate refined bread, while the poor ate the rougher loaves. The Iron Age brought improvements to baking, texture, and flour quality. Iron griddles were introduced for baking. These conducted heat really well and made the baking even so the bread would turn out evenly brown. Another improvement was in the dough mixture. Using a mixture of potash from fire and sour milk, this resulted in partially risen bread. Hand-sized millstones, called querns, were used for milling, improving the quality of the flour as well. By the time bread arrived on the table of the Romans, its quality was vastly improved. Firstly, the Romans grew better grain. Next, in the milling process, they replaced hand-turned milling stones with larger ones that use animal power. Finally, they were able to produce a finer flour by using sieves. For the baking, two types of oven were used. Large brick ones shaped like beehives and three-legged pot ovens that were placed over a fire. As a result, bread acquired a fresh from the oven taste and aroma that made it really tasty. After the Romans, the standard of bread making dropped. People went back to using the old methods of milling and baking. Then, the Vikings arrived from Scandinavia with rye. A new interest in bread was revived. Viking bread was hard, unleavened, or unrisen bread that was baked in large molds with a hole in the center. The holes made it easy to store as the bread could be threaded through tent poles. Then came the Middle Ages. That's when bread really became a big business. Bakers were setting up shops and the bread business was really thriving. The reason was simple. During this time, the Norman castles with their large ovens were baking bread for the whole community. The bread business was also more efficiently organized. Crop rotation resulted in better harvests. Mills, mostly windmills and water mills, were sited close to the wheat fields. It was an exciting time to live in, the 11th and 12th centuries. Towns were growing and cities were springing up overnight as it were, and everyone needed to eat bread. So you see how the bread business also flourished at this time. During the time of the Georgians, people became more creative when making and eating bread. Do you know that sandwich was actually named after the Earl of Sandwich, who was always too busy to eat a proper meal? Bread quality continued to improve. Better farming resulted in higher yields and better quality grain. Silk acquired from trading with the East was used to make sieves. As a result, bakers could get finer, whiter flour. It was this time too that saw the first appearance of a loaf and sliced bread as we know it today. Tin mining in Cornwall led to the invention of baking tins. So bread could be baked in these tins and come out as loaves with straight sides, making it easy to slice. Till today, sliced bread is still considered a great invention. Bread making progressed into bread manufacturing with the coming of the Industrial Revolution. People were migrating from the country to the towns. New methods of bread making had to be found to keep up with the need to be fed. Steam-powered mills replaced the old wind and water mills. Stone milling was replaced by a process using steel roller mills. Flour from this method of milling was very fine, and bread made from this flour was lighter and tastier. Today, we have so many choices of bread to enjoy. You can find the type you like anywhere you go, from bakeries in your neighborhood to cafes and supermarkets. Nowadays, a new yeast is used which acts faster and is more reliable. Factories are set up to produce bread on a large scale. Bread is delivered quickly and efficiently to keep the fresh from the oven taste and aroma. Now that we have completed our historical journey of 5,000 years, we shall return to the present day and the next exciting part of your visit. A tour of Bread Town, the first of its kind in the world. Meeting the pioneers of bread making is just one of the exciting activities awaiting you. Step into another gripping journey of discovery. Enjoy yourself!